talking about the Tabor Boy documentary, when you did have to sort of capture the audio, how did you do it? How did you cut out the wind? I think I'm honestly personally interested. When I'm sailing, I'm filming with an iPhone here and there, but how did you do it?
Yeah, it's a combination of things. One is trying to position the microphone in a place that maybe doesn't capture as much wind, whether that's putting yourself behind the deck house on the boat to get a little blockade there. Uh, Putting the microphone lower to the ground will again help it block. I had what's called a dead cat on it, which just looks like a furry thing on the microphone that helps dampen down the noise a little bit. I had one microphone that was used for a few specific scenes, not much, that had a really big casing on it that helped block out the noise, but a lot of it ultimately happened in the editing, in the sound mixing. I had the great team at Berkeley Sound Artists work on the film. They worked on The Ocean Knows No Borders as well, and they really, can do wonders in terms of cleaning it up and getting rid of that. But one thing we talked about, because when you work through the sound mixing and sound editing process on a film, there's a lot of decisions that are made in terms of what you keep, what you don't, how loud something is, how quiet it is. And to a certain extent, we wanted to keep the noise or the wind, because to a certain extent, A, it's realistic. That's what happens on a boat. But B, it is sort of, it keeps the intensity to it a little bit. When you have the start and the wind's blowing at just very quickly, and you can just see it flapping the sails around, and it's really intense. I think feeling that wind noise adds something at times. So it's sort of a balance, but there are, you just spoke about the fact that new technology can give me new opportunities in terms of how my filmmaking is produced. And I think having that extra equipment that allows me a little more flexibility in how I capture the audio and how I process it afterward is huge.
Yep. At the start of the race, did you have people helping you film, or were you sort of on your own? For those who don't know, the start of a sailing race is very hectic, and it actually gets hyper dangerous when you get into these larger vessels. So of course, people are running around. There's a lot going on. What was that experience like? And did you have somebody helping you out?
Yeah, so it was a completely solo affair. I had a Ronin gimbal, which for those of you who don't know, probably most of you, it's a handheld gimbal that just puts the camera and steadies it so I can move around, and it keeps the camera steady no matter how much the boat's moving, no matter how much I'm moving. That was critical. You see the scenes, there's a lot of sweeping shots, there's a lot of shots where I'm moving a lot and the camera is still. So that makes for some really cool cinematic moments, but it also allows me to do a one-man gig in that respect. So it was certainly dangerous, but the whole crew knew what I was doing. They knew how I was going to be doing it, and they were, looking out for me as I was looking out for them. So I sort of had an idea of the process as it was going down. And in particular, Chip Connard, who was the executive officer of the crew, he was looking out for me. And I can remember one time when I was standing somewhere trying to get a shot, and he was like, "You got to move because you're about to be hit by a line that's not gonna treat you well." So,
Yep.
Yeah, it was definitely hectic, definitely dangerous, but it turned into some my personal favorite shots of the film.